Everyone, we are back once again. I was actually very tired and I thought, man, what am I going to do for the evening? And what do you know? I'm back. I'm like, you know what? Because I keep a list of streams that when I have ideas I want to do sometime. So this was on the list. I was like, yeah, I want to talk about how I found Hex, go through some crypto history. And yeah, maybe just spend like 30 minutes with you guys. So let's do it. So like I got a few people in the chat. Didn't even announce this. Appreciate you guys. Godfather J6 #1 again today. Appreciate that. Chad of the Donner of the Swans has nothing better to do than get a few pumps in, and also in his beautiful headphones, he likes to listen to RHMax from time to time. Appreciate you. I appreciate you. UFO to go. What's happening? The I want to say the eagle has landed, but it's the UFO has landed. You know, we already know aliens are real, so that's what our friend Tommy said, at least. And he somehow mixes cryptos and aliens together very well on the channel. Very, very cool. What's up, Alex Santos? Good to see you, man. Good to see you. Accent's topful. I don't know. We'll see. You know, I still feel like I'm going to do a stream tomorrow, even though next week I literally have a security AMA every day. I've committed every day to do the security stream and one or two extra with other people, just because that's how it worked out. When you book 5 solo streams, you know, every once in a while people want to come on, and I've been trying to get a couple collaborations together for a while now. So should be fun. You never know. I'll probably end up doing quite a few streams next week because I got minimum five. So we'll see. Interesting story. Yeah, I've told it a couple. You know, even if you search RHMax story, you know, I've told it a couple times, either on stream or other people's stream, and I'll try to clip it out. But this one I want to go a little in depth, a little bit more historical wise, from my story in crypto and how I found Hex, how I found Richard, stuff like that. Put the question in the chat again. I'm going to go for probably half hour or so. They're going to call it a night because I'm pretty tired. However, I'm going to put the hex.com on the screen so we can talk through it a little bit, and a little bit of Richard Hart as well. Boom. Wow, this hex.com. I might even go to, you know what? It'd be cool to do Wayback Machine, wouldn't it? I think so. We'll do Wayback Machine, and you can see what Hex looked like when I first got into it and started looking at it. So hex.com. What is up? Hex Monkey, good to see you again, man. See you out there during the bear market. You know, like I said, if you're not streaming right now during the bear market, that's okay. If you feel like doing it just to talk about, you know, I don't want to get up here and just talk and just mumble and just talk about random stuff. And I know I also want to chat with you all, but I do want to provide some insight if I can. But, you know, some of the motivations and some of the reasons I'm still here and still around, and haven't really lost faith in the ecosystem. I've had ups and downs like everyone else, but I mean, honestly, nothing's really changed other than SEC trying to do enforcement actions against pretty legitimate companies and legitimate causes. So other than that, it's just macro bear market. That's the only weird thing. So have I heard of FairHex? I don't know anything about it. I think I've heard of it somewhere, but I don't know anything about it. So I will not comment on that. Good question, though. I do not know. I do not know I do not try to keep up with everything in the ecosystem. I do try to optimize and focus my attention on just a few projects that I think are just game changers or otherwise improve Hex or PulseChain. So I will definitely miss some opportunities, but I'm okay with that from time to time. And I'll definitely miss some scams, which I'm also very much okay with. So let's see. So anyways, Wayback Machine, I'll put it in the chat. If you guys haven't used it, it's pretty awesome. You can see historical caches, I don't know what you call it, copies, mirrors of website from way back in this little machine we got. So we'll start with 2017. Oh, that was a different hex.com. Yeah, so Hex didn't launch in 2018. Actually, I think I had this on stream before. I wonder when the Hex website first came up for what we know it as. We're going to find out. Spend a couple minutes here, then I'll get to in the story. Yeah, it's not that one. December has one snapshot. Probably 2018 sometime. Probably just go to 2018 because I don't think I'm going to think like summer might be a good one. Yeah, not that one. I want to say summer, or maybe those 2 snapshots in November. So that's probably a safe bet as well. Oh, here's one summer. It says HEX. Let's see what else it says. Oh, yeah. Not HEX. Billy Bob says I'm a little out of focus. Yeah. Camera can do that. Bandwidth can do that. So yeah, bear with me if it does. History of RHMax. Yeah, actually, it has been a while since I talked about it. So I just keep getting the Chinese one here. Okay, December. It's got to be that or early 2019. Let's just go to March. Kind of speed this up because it's still Chinese. Really? All right, it's got to be summer. I know we got a website. Unless the mirror is just not working. If you're listening on audio, by the way, I'm just trying to pull up. What in the world? 2019. I wonder if they got removed or something. Let's go to 2020, or maybe they just weren't crawled back then. Yeah, I need to speed this up. So June 15, 2020. Let's go to July. Just so we have something to, I want to give you a look and see of what I used to look and see when I would go to the website. Okay, this should be an early version. Late night HEX. That is, or late night RHMax. That is me. I know. I'm even a little. Oh wow. Oh wow. I do remember this. This was a thing for a while. They had the whole Bitcoin in the background, and they had the little connector, the little abstract stuff going. Yeah, pretty cool. This is one of the early versions. It's changed a lot of different versions, but this is one of the early versions. So my story on this. Let's see. Pineapple said I found HEX around summer 2020. Oh, a lot of people found it in 2020. Funny enough, a lot of people found it in 2020 and 2021. I feel like most of the HEXians I talked to are 2021 or maybe late 2020, but usually 2021. I found a lot of people. So for me, I first got into crypto in 2016. I think I first came across Bitcoin. I remember sending myself an email or something, come across Bitcoin in maybe 2011, 2012. And as usual, just didn't pay attention to it. I must have not. I don't remember back then, but I remember seeing the email that, I sent myself an article on, you know what? Let's see if I can find the article. It was on, let's see, it's a bunch of HEX spots, ad spotted. This was on a security guy, Bruce Schneider. I have not looked this up ever, I don't think. Let's see, must have been. Let's do tag Bitcoin. So he's a security guy. Did a lot of famous stuff back then. 2023. How can I see the oldest one that he did? Where's the first article? So that's 2013. Okay, so maybe it was 2013. Analysis of how. I was probably interested in the security stuff around Bitcoin, probably. So it must have been Bitcoin explanation. It was probably one of these. It was probably either the Bitcoin explanation. Put in chat in case anybody wants to see it. Probably the Bitcoin explanation or Bitcoin security musings, or how it's actually used. Something got me interested. So it must have been, okay, say 2013. But after that, I never looked at it. I don't remember anything until 2016. And I don't even know what struck me then, but I just thought, hey, how can I get some of this stuff? How can I get some cryptocurrency? Like, I don't even think I thought of it as an investment. I'm trying to think. I think I thought, okay, maybe it'll go up a little bit. but I think I was more excited about how to use it and how to, not mining. I was never into mining. I mean, I just did some, not Bitcoin mining, but just some of the altcoin stuff, all the random coins in 2017. There's just a whole bunch of stuff. I remember having machines and all kinds of wallets, like you have to download the EXEs. And I was like, now looking back at it, I was like, even back then, I knew security stuff, but I would have it on either a virtual machine or a completely different computer. And it was, some of the stuff you could stake, some of it you could virtually mine, however that they did the algorithm. And it was on Bitcoin Talk. Actually, Bitcointalkorg was the place back then. I don't know if people really use it anymore, but Bitcointalk.org, that was a place where you would find out about all the new coins. People would post. It went from Bitcoin discussion to let's see, I don't even remember. Yeah, altcoin discussion. I think this was the big thing. Do people still post and stuff? Yeah, I guess so. I guess it's still active. But this is where people would launch coins and they would put a post here and people would comment. And then if they had years worth of threads, Satoshi is still on here. You can still search for Satoshi's posts and see them and stuff like that. So I came up through that, and it was more of just back then. It was okay, just trying to find the good coins, trying to find the coins that they thought they were gonna go up in value in some way. Trading. I remember the first few months. I think 2017. So 2016, yeah. First I'll get Bitcoin, Ethereum. I remember Ethereum was on Coinbase for $8 or something. Something crazy. Bitcoin was around 600, 700. I thought, hey, should I buy one? Should I buy two? At the time, I was like, okay, I think I'm just going to buy one. I just have I have a few $100s extra. It was around Christmas time or so. And I thought, okay, maybe I'll buy one or something. And then I remember after the holidays, 2017, it was, all systems go. It was 2017 was one of the wildest years of my life and probably a lot of people's life, of just, going through the forums, just trying to listen to, I never did listen to any big influencers. I don't think. I didn't do crypto YouTube a lot back then. So a lot of these people, Cryptos R Us and all these people, what's his name? Meet Kevin or something. I never did follow them that much. Even BitBoy. I really just would follow I guess this is more the shitcoin people, more the altcoin focused, the 100x gem people, stuff like that. And even back then, yeah, I've watched, this is my third cycle. So I've watched my portfolio go, I can see it go up and I can see it go down. And then, okay, next cycle, I can see it go up and I can see it go down. And then, yeah, this will be my third cycle once we complete it and get into the bull run stuff here. Yeah, third-ish or so, depending on where you came in on it, I guess. But back then, it was just about trading. I mean, and mining, I really didn't get into. I kind of dabbled in a little bit. Staking I did do a little bit of staking. I'll say that. That was pretty cool. But it was all just click an EXE, run this on the computer, just leave your computer running for a long time, that kind of thing. It wasn't, what we see as smart contract staking. It's nothing like what HEX became. So 2017, yeah, UFO to go. I remember free Bitcoin faucet. I know. There was some interesting faucets back then. A lot of the Bitcoin stuff was gone, of course, when I came in 2016. But before that, yeah, there was you could get a lot of free Bitcoin out there. Again, in the chat, I'm just going to kind of go with the story for now. I'll click every once in a while, but it's just going to be more me talking about crypto history and stuff. So I was doing that, and then I started coming across Richard, and it's a story. I don't know if you're new or haven't heard me tell this before. Basically, I was at a party, and a friend of mine was we were talking about, he was big into Monero, still has a bunch of Monero, I guess. Still loves Monero. Nothing wrong with Monero. Monero's fine. I just don't think Monero's, it's not, for me personally, I don't think Monero is going to make me rich. And I don't have anything really in common with the community other than I like privacy. So I actually tried to have a Monero guy on the show one time, but he just didn't show up twice. So I just stopped bothering with it. Okay. He interviewed another interesting person on YouTube that I like a lot. Anyways, at a party, And he's like, hey, have you heard about Richard Hart? I think we were talking about Ethereum. And, he's like, have you ever watched Richard Hart? I'm like, no, I never watched Richard Hart. Who's that? Like, oh, this guy, he doesn't like Ethereum. He talks about all the attack surface and stuff like that. I'm like, I mean, I think Ethereum's really, I'm kind of curious. It kind of piqued my interest of what he was even talking about. Because at a technical level, I'm like, yeah, smart contracts. Sure, there's tons of attack surface, just like anything else. It's a program. You write code, there's attack surface. Like, what doesn't have attack surface, right? Other than if you're comparing it to Bitcoin, Bitcoin has very limited things it can do. So of course it doesn't have as much, but it's not really a fair comparison. I never thought it was a fair comparison, honestly. So then I started watching the self-help videos, like went through his stuff. And I remember watching, I still remember in my mind with friends, I think another party later on, after I started watching Richard and seeing all this stuff, I can still see me and a group of friends watching some of the, quit gambling video, quit drinking video, how to be a better friend, and just watching that with friends years and years ago, probably 2017, 2018 sometime. And just being like, this guy is just so captivating, right? He's just so, very interesting guy. So then I started watching some of his live streams, and I think really, I remember him crying. Was I on Ivan on Tech or something when Bitcoin was about to collapse or did collapse around, I think that was the end of 2017. I remember going home or visiting family and stuff for Christmas and talking to my cousin, and my cousin was telling me about one of my cousins, and he was talking about what was it? Well, some coin. He bought something. He was really into something, some ICO thing. And he was just so excited about it. I just remember after visiting family going back, and then everything just started to crash. And back then, my thought was just, I didn't know anything. That was my first experience with any of this stuff. My thought was, oh, okay, buy the dip. To me, it was just like, yeah, I'm just better price to accumulate, trading from one coin to another coin and getting all this stuff. And then, I remember Richard talking about it. I guess is that when he called the top? I forget which date and stuff like that. But that was when I thought, wow, this guy is very smart, very interesting. And then 2018 is when I feel like 2018 was when he started talking about HEX. I don't remember. I could probably search for the first Richard Hart post on HEX, but I think it was late 2018, something like that. Well, actually, I can go to the what is that site? Where that Telegram chat? I can't remember. Hold on. At my notes. I pulled this up the other day. Pretty cool. You can search Telegram history. Yeah, hex.pub. Okay. So hex.pub. Yeah, May 2018. There you go. So I remember it was somewhere in 2018. I remember him talking about he was creating a coin. Oh, wait, okay. CFD token before that. Okay. Shout out to CFD token. I haven't talked about that for a long time. It's still up somewhere, I think. Yeah, CFDtoken.com. So Richard's first idea wasn't HEX. If anyone's not familiar, his first idea was CFD token. And there's still pictures. There's still a roadmap, all this stuff. Him and the David Brown guy was this rocket scientist, I guess. And there was an interview. Yeah, the videos may be private. It was an interview where they talked about it. And they were going to do CFD token, computational fluid dynamics. They were going to basically, if you ever heard of, what is that token that they use to solve scientific problems? I can't remember what it is. Pretty sure it's got a terrible price chart. But anyways, I am interested in those kind of, I think projects good for humanity are cool. And I hope they succeed. I'm not saying I would buy any of them, but he was working on something like that. And it was just basically there was a market that was unaddressed. And he had an idea. And you can read more about it. I'll put it in the chat. But that was Richard's first ideal for, or his first, I guess, public talking about an idea to do stuff. And I wonder if the numbers are still, no, okay, they're static. I was like, there's still people in that Telegram. So anyways, not super important, but they were trying to solve a problem with doing math that was useful, basically, to solving these big problems that he had an expert to talk about it and kind of do it with. Yeah, scientists, engineers, they get paid for doing work or something. So he talked about that for a little while. And then the focus went back to, I think he just stopped talking about it. I think he just started talking about stuff in general, markets, all that, all the live stream stuff. And then he started talking about Bitcoin HEX. And it was like, he's something around Bitcoin, and it's going to be free claim for Bitcoin holders. It's going to be ERC20. Oh, I don't like Ethereum, but, we'll make it secure. We'll do more, we'll deal with the attack surface stuff. I remember talking about that. And then I thought, okay, well, so he's not going to do CFD token, but he's going to do this other token, which is a blockchain CD thing where, they basically pay you for staking coins and locking them up and stuff. And I thought, okay, that's pretty interesting. I don't know what kind of experience he has being a founder, because, he was going to do this token, but now he's going to do this other token. But it sounds like, he's, a very smart guy. I like him a lot. So why not? Maybe he'll do well. At that time I had, I was kind of spread out all over other communities and network, different coins. I never really was active with any community that I remember. I definitely didn't stream or anything like that, but I was probably in chats with different stuff. I really don't remember. It's been like years and years and years. So, found Richard 2017, been about 6 years now, a little over. And 2017, again, went through that. 2018 is when he started talking about coins, I believe. And then you see the HEX chat starts in May 2018. And then 2019, things started to ramp up. Like, he started just being like, I need to talk to everyone. I will talk to anyone with an audience. I remember him saying stuff like that. Anyone with an audience, come here, take your heroes here to die. The alpha, I call him the Alpha Richard back in the day. Like, he was the guy who, he had an answer for everything. Like, he literally, I feel like he, obviously he's not a god. He's not like omni anything. He's not, he's a man, but he knows how to, and there's plenty of things he said like that that against Bitcoin that I'm, okay, that's not a fair comparison, or okay, that's not actually, security's better. Okay, your ERC20, of course it's not, all this stuff, but I've talked about that before on stream too. Anyways, I'm not trying to keep this shorter. A lot of stuff he was doing back then was just basically showing the power. He wanted to tell every single audience he could about this invention that he did. He had this invention. He had these devs working on it. He had this ability to create a coin that kind of encapsulated to me a lot of the healthy habits that he talked about before in his self-development stuff that I was totally on board with. Back then I was going through like a health, wealth, wisdom journey. I was kind of like at the beginning of it. I wanted to learn more. I wanted a mentor. I wanted someone to like kind of, I'm sort of like in that figuring out life type of stage. And then getting rich is one of those things where I always thought I would be. I always thought like there would be some way, but I didn't know what it was. And I thought, okay, I have a successful career. I'm good at these certain things. I can definitely work. Maybe I could do a startup. Maybe I can just keep climbing the corporate ladder, whatever. Getting paid, not a problem, all that stuff. But I thought the first time I actually thought I could get rich in crypto was it was either before, probably maybe around, I think Richard kind of like led me into that. Before, when I was just trading and doing whatever with all the altcoins and just really getting my feet wet and just understanding Bitcoin, understanding Ethereum, it was more of, okay, probably make a lot of money, whatever that means, but I never thought I could really retire early. It was just sort of like, hey, here's a lot of money, don't know what I'm gonna do with it, but I think I can make a lot of money with crypto. And but with Bitcoin, or with HEX, when it was coming out, there was so much fanfare around it and so much just nervousness. It was kind of like everyone was like, is this thing actually going to work? Like, the audits, people asking about audits. And I think to this day, he still has never released the actual audit for HEX and stuff, but which it doesn't really matter. It's kind of like, it always reminds me of the Trump thing when he's like, oh, Trump, release your tax, release your your tax audits and stuff. And he's like, oh, they're under audit, or your tax returns. Oh, they're under audit. It's kind of like that thing. So he's like a master at like just being able to answer any question in the most suitable way. But again, a lot of stuff doesn't matter. People may listen to that and think, oh, he's not genuine. He's not, Richard lie, fat man lie, all that stuff. And it's like, all that stuff doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. What if he never released the HEX audit? What if he, never did a lot of stuff that, that he doesn't want to do that you think he should do? It just doesn't matter. I think that's the biggest thing with Richard, that for me, because I watched him for at least a year or two before HEX even came about. For me, it just became natural to be like, oh yeah, that's fine, like not a big deal. But a lot of people take it serious. They take it personally. So that was 2019. Then HEX launched, and it was just like, whoa, big payday. Your coins are, if you free claim, they're locked up for the year. If you staked longer, longer than a year and stuff, you get big payday. And that was like something to look forward to. That was kind of like a really good onboarding thing too. I'm trying to find, there's like a white paper here somewhere. A guide. Yeah, I just want to show you guys a guide, because I've tweeted about this before. But if you're ever looking for a HEX white paper, maybe I should just search my own tweets and find it. But if this is it, I can, yeah, this is at least one of them. So if anyone's interested in that, contract in layman's terms, this will help you understand the game theory mechanics, the T-share, a lot of this stuff. It's like the only technical document I know of that's like actually written, perhaps by Richard, perhaps by the dev, perhaps by somebody from the team. And it really gives you insight on how this stuff works. So yeah, pre-launch HEX folks will create a snapshot of the state of Bitcoin blockchain from some future block height. Again, you can free claim. Pre-claim, there was like a referral program where you get a bonus, you refer yourself. I remember Richard saying that 10,000 times. And then, the silly well penalties, all this stuff was just like these marketing tactics, which was cool. It was like fun. It was like this, hey, of course the AA, everyone heard about that adoption amplifier where you could go in and you could acquire HEX through that. I think you convert ETH into HEX, if I remember correctly. So that was a way to get it. And then it went on exchange, and I told this story a bunch of times too, but it's like, I remember on Bidesk, I don't think Bidesk exists anymore. I remember on Bidesk, oops, I think it was a Chinese exchange or something. I think they went under. I don't think they exist anymore. Let's see. Remember, HEX was trading on Bidesk, very low liquidity. However, yeah, British Virgin Islands, so hard to say. Yeah, permanent shutdown of Bidesk. And I remember it was like 1 Satoshi, 2 Satoshi, 3 Satoshi. It kept bouncing around. I was like, oh my gosh, like, am I ever going to be able to trade this thing? I literally thought I was going to have to go to Ethereum parity. Back then, it was like, I don't want to get Ethereum. I can send Ethereum to the exchange and, use it to buy HEX. It's all this centralized thing. And, I don't really care about Ethereum that much. I care much more about Bitcoin. I was like sending Bitcoin and stuff. Like Bitcoin was the thing to send around. It wasn't Bitcoin or whatever other altcoins. Ethereum was just, God, I got to set up, got to go get a wallet. And, MetaMask wasn't even, to me back then, MetaMask was just, one of those weird things that I used for, what was that other thing that came? The first decentralized exchange that was kind of decent. You guys remember EtherDelta? Boy, EtherDelta, that was a crazy, not surprising, as you see, of course, they random stuff. Anyways, EtherDelta used to be a thing. I don't think it exists anymore. But it was basically a place where you could trade. It was kind of like the Uniswap idea of like you could trade at least Ethereum with other tokens. And it was decentralized, and you don't have to sign up or anything. It was just like this big, I wonder if they have I could probably do the thing, but I wanted to show you what it looked like, because it was so, and I always wondered if my trades were gonna go through. It's like, I don't know, like you would do a trade and you wouldn't even know if it's gonna go through or not. Let's see. It was just this big wall. I wish I had a picture of just like a big wall of just tokens, and I just remember being like super confusing to use. However, it was pretty innovative for its time. Before, actual DEXs came out and decentralized stuff, it was pretty innovative. So anyways, that was like 2020. And then that's when things took, all this, there's all kinds of stuff. Like, I'm not going to go into everything as far as like HEX history. There's tons of stuff I've clipped tons of Richard videos from back then and all the vintage clips and stuff on the channel. But at that point, I think probably the first year, so that was 2020. So 2019 launched, December 2nd, 2019 launched, HEX launch date. 2020, all the stuff that happened, zombie virus, all that stuff. And then it was just like Richard, debating the lawyers and just going on all the streams and just, again, just trying to, then he started like doing the outrage marketing and stuff, but it was like, everything was to bring attention to this product. And to me, it kind of strengthened my case of, I started drifting away from other coins. I started like, maybe I pretty much got rid of just about everything else by that point. I think 2021, 2022, I don't think I had many other coins at all. I was like, I want more HEX. I want more of whatever this guy, because this is the community I saw forming around it. Again, I wasn't very active back then publicly. I didn't start really publicly interacting until like early 2022. But I could just see there was something special about this, something amazing about, you could go to go.hex.com. I'll just go there, You could go to this website and you could trustlessly, like, this is not an exchange. It's not an exchange. It's just a dummy wallet, just so I can kind of show. You could go to the website and you could just, type in whatever you want and lock it up. And just based on the amount of time you locked it up and how much you put in there, you could get these T-share things. And they could, you could get rewarded with yield. And as long as you, didn't emergency stake or didn't, as long as you did what you said you're going to do, as Richard would say, you would get rewarded with yield, and you would not be tempted to sell it because you couldn't, because it's locked up in a contract, or well, technically it's 9 hour. Technically it's burned and then it's minted back, but the contract controls how much, you're going to get back and all that stuff, depending on how long you wait. So the two things that were so intriguing that made me finally just believe, like, hey, I don't need anything else. I just want whatever this guy is, whatever he's making. He seems to be making the coolest stuff. I want Richard R products. I want HEX. We'll get into PulseChain here in a second, but HEX just became this way to, monetize time, monetize, instead of, before, I talked about just trading crypto and just chasing the newest coin, trying to get in early, trying to get that edge because for information and just knowing people and trying to get like the grittiest goblin town of Telegram or Discord or wherever it is, just following the pumping up people on Twitter. This was like a legit thing. It was like, I don't need to do any of that. I don't need to do any of that dirty stuff. I can like be in crypto with integrity. It was literally like this integrity move of like, I can be here and just keep and do something good and honest, and it feels good. It's like I just take the HEX and then I just lock it up, and then I get more later. And in the meantime, especially back then, the price was going up. So it was just amazing to look at this portal and see the stakes you were making and just see them, you could see here the value and just be, wow, it is really, I can't quite explain how fulfilling it is to see that happen. And, even when HEX goes down, even when you have stake, even if I speak for me, I speak for myself on this, but even when that value goes down, it's still so cool to see that you're able to be your own bank. You're able to be like, I can control my finances through this smart contract and through this beautiful dApp that, anyone, there could be a million different ways to interact with, and it doesn't have to be this. It can be other interfaces, and we have a bunch of different stuff. You can manually interact with the contract, but something that, something that just works and you're in control over it. That was the huge appeal to me. So I kind of just left everything else out. It's like, I don't want anything else. Combine. I'm RH Maximalist. I always say I'm RH Maximalist for Richard's ideals. I love Scivive and his books and just a lot of the healthy, good things that he believes and wants to do for the world. I believe he's a force for good. And I think the products he creates are so empowering for people that whether you agree with the other things he says or does or talks about or whatever, you can't argue with the implementation. You can't argue with the reasoning and the fundamentals behind these products. Even with PulseChain, faster, cheaper Ethereum. Take the communities who have values similar to ours or our own community, let them have a playground to build banking products that can further free people. To me, that is the point of PulseChain, other than hopefully price go to the moon like HEX did. The point is to get people on the same page, the people who are on the same page, get them in a room together and let them build things that are just wildly beat expectations that we have none of. Like that's a movement to me. That's an incredible ideal, and it's happening in the real world. And when you become part of that, it just does something different. It really motivates people to create content, to build products on it, to go out of their way, spend their own money, their own time, get their friends and family, tell them, spread the good word, because these are ideals that came from a man, but now they're getting transformed to a community. And the community, it's what's leading and taking things forward from now, and it could be forever. Who knows? I mean, we all love RH, but we're here. Like we it's a decentralized network. So yeah, as much as I don't know. It's like, if you ask me, do I want to see him? I do want to see him just beat the SEC case and beat all the legal stuff and just be like, nope, you guys are wrong. I'm making the world a better place. Here's why. Set a good precedent for crypto, all that stuff. Honestly, I'd like to see him go work on longevity stuff. I want to live a long time. I want other people to live a long time. That has been always been his passion. So if he steps away from crypto, after PulseChain's doing well, PulseX, the dev team is self-sufficient, all that stuff. Regardless of any of that stuff anyways, HEX, immutable smart contract, don't need anyone to work on that otherwise. I think all the stuff we've been through with PulseChain launch in the last 90 days, 2024, 2025, 2026, if Richard's just like, hey, I'm going to go do something else, then I would completely understand, and I think we'd be fine. I think at that point we're decentralized, but I think there's enough people here who they know what needs to be done. And at that point, if we're lucky enough and we're well funded enough and we still have been able to maintain all the big brains in the community, we'll have everything we need. That's what I sincerely hope for. And I think there's a good chance it'll happen. So anyways, I've went to about 40 minutes. I know there's some questions in the chat, but I cannot get to everyone tonight. I'm going to call it quits. Yes, thank you all in the chat for coming. That is, I think it's, I've tried to, without going too long, I try to, take you through the history, my experience in crypto from Bitcoin to, following Richard, HEX. I barely touched on PulseChain, but hey, we're still early sort of in its history as well. And why I believe in these products. They're that powerful. They really are. So that's all I got for you tonight. I'm glad I streamed. I'm glad I was able to share some of the stuff that I thought was impactful for me and what keeps me going too. So happy weekend, everyone. Hope you're doing well out there. I think I'm going to go get some rest, maybe watch a little bit of TV, and we'll see if I come on tomorrow or not. But appreciate you all joining me. Scivive and 5555. We are out.